it's Heather from Kestrel Fields Studio, and today is day 2 of my live stream challenge to myself. As you know, I mentioned yesterday that going live on social media is a little bit vulnerable, and but after I did it, I felt really accomplished. So, I mean, it's the small things, right? So today, I'm really glad that you're here, and I wanted to talk a little bit about doing hard things and how to overcome all of the self-talk and all of the reasons why not to do the hard thing. I just want to talk a little bit about that. So some examples of doing hard things include live streaming yourself on social media. So that's one thing. But also running a business is hard, and so many people do it, and many of you do it. Many of you run businesses. Whether you think of yourself as a business or not, you are running businesses, especially if you're a creative person selling things. That's a business, and it's such a strange thing, even for me, who's been doing this for a year and a half, to think of myself as a business owner. I still feel like, wait, that's something that other people do. That's not what I do. Wait, I am doing that, actually. I think being a creative person in general, like identifying as an artist or a creative person, is actually kind of challenging. If you think about the culture of our society in terms of what does it mean to work, a lot of times we just go straight to the 40-hour work week, the 9 to 5 work culture where you work maybe 50 weeks out of the year. That's sort of a standard in our culture. And when you're an artist, that is not generally how your work looks. And so being an artist or a creative person who doesn't have a work life that looks like that sometimes is hard, because other parts of our culture are sort of putting judgment on that. Also, like the concept of, in our culture, like our work self tends to be our primary identity self, right? That's one of the first things you talk about when you first meet a new person, is what you do for a living. And that's sometimes challenging when you're a creative person, because you might feel like you're getting judged, or you might feel like you need to justify yourself or your choice of work. There's just so many different reasons why being an artist is sometimes challenging in our culture. And also there's that whole concept of productivity, like how can you be working if you're not productive? And what's so interesting about that is how the idea of like productivity in the world of art, as you may know, like thinking and like ruminating on things is very productive, but then you don't necessarily have anything to show for it, and that can be really hard to like continue to do over time. I was just making a list of other things that are hard. Doing taxes, keeping your books, especially as a creative person, like that is not how my brain works, even though I really like math. Surprise. But like taxes, it's so complicated, and you're constantly feeling like you're going to get in trouble if you do it wrong. That makes it harder. I think technology is hard for a lot of people. I know it's not necessarily super intuitive to me. Like, obviously I didn't choose technology as a job, but on the other hand, I have learned about it, and I'm consistently learning about it. But that doesn't make it a lot easier. It does get easier over time, though. Thanks to my intern, especially. Hi, Brooklyn. Thanks for being here. Another thing that's hard is trying out a new medium. When you're a creative person, especially, like, what if you've always been a painter, and then you've decided that's not working for you anymore, and you want to try a different medium? That can sometimes feel hard, because it puts you back at like ground zero in terms of your artistic skills, and you're used to feeling confident, and you're used to feeling like you understand a medium, and now you're looking at this medium and it's completely out of your comfort zone, right? That's challenging too. There's a woman who did a residency at Kestrel Fields Studio. Her name's Desiree, and she's based out of Cheyenne, Wyoming. And and I talked a little bit about that. She's a printmaker, and she also likes to draw. And she came to the residency with intention of trying to push herself to do something different. And so she started sketching out and conceptualizing ideas for a children's book. And that was almost a year ago. And she was so used to like the comfort of the medium of printmaking, and she's so good at it, and she consistently sells her prints. But then to move into this world of book publishing, writing, illustration, especially, like that was something that she wanted to push herself to do, but she felt a little bit intimidated by it. And I have to tell you now, she did it, and she's published it, and you should check her out. Her Instagram is creative_magpies. I'll put her in the comments or in my description. So yay, does a really good job. Something that I have noticed is hard as a creative person is staying positive or optimistic that someday you're gonna feel satisfied with this career choice. And my dad, he's always told me, because I've always been a creative person, he's always told me, like, Heather, if you work really hard for 20 years, then you're gonna be an overnight success. And that is a phrase that he has said to me over and over again, and now we sort of laugh about it. And I really agree. I've been sort of doing the art thing now for more than 10 years, 15 years. I started in 2008. And what is this, 2024? Yeah, 16 years I've been an artist. And where I've been comfortable identifying in that way as a professional. And only in the last few years have I started noticing that my efforts have started to pay off. So man, that long view and staying optimistic and staying in it, that's really hard. It's easy to get down when change takes so long or a project takes 20 years. One last thing I thought of in terms of something that's hard is making it to the end of something. So, I've set this goal of 15 live streams with you. And I wow, am I going to make to 15? That's how it feels right now. It just feels, and that's the same in art, right? You're working on a piece of art, maybe you're painting something or weaving something or drawing something or whatever it is that you like to do, stitching. And there's this phase, Kelly Ray Roberts calls it the ugly phase of the painting, and it's where you hate it. You start, you have a great idea, you're feeling like you've got the foundation, and then you put the pen to the paper and nothing is happening how your brain sees it. And so there's that ugly phase of the painting, and that is so hard to get through. Anyway, that's my long list of things that I could think of in terms of doing hard things, especially as a creative person. And I wanted to offer just some tips that I have used to get through it. So one of the first things that I thought of was to remember other hard times. So, hi Kelly, perfect timing that you arrived, because I'm just going to tell this story. Yesterday I was, getting my head in the game for doing this. And my friend Kelly, she reminded me that I have done harder things than this. And she would know because Kelly and I worked together on the Semester at Sea ship in the spring of 22. And, Semester at Sea, if you know about it, it has this amazing reputation for being the time of your life, and it really changes people's lives. And it really does. It's an incredible experience. But if you think about January 2022, it was sort of a resurgent of the COVID pandemic. And so if you can, put the pieces together of living and working on a cruise ship for 4 months during the pandemic, yeah, it was challenging. And I was on the leadership team, so I had to do a lot of decision making about things that felt really impossible at the time. And so I came away from that experience thinking, I think that is the hardest thing I've ever done. And as a result, I thought, shoot, I can run a business. I did that. I was on a cruise ship during the pandemic with 420 somethings. Yeah, I can do this. And so, remember other hard times that you had, and then remind yourself that you got through those, how it felt to feel that accomplishment, or at least that sense of satisfaction that you made it to the end. And also that thought of, oh, that wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Like yesterday, like going on live stream with you for 10 minutes, that was a lot. And then I got to the end and it wasn't that bad. So, and already today I feel more comfortable. A second tip I have for you in terms of getting through hard things is to listen to your fans. So, my fans are my tribe. Like these are people who consistently encourage me and who consistently remind me that I have what it takes to do what I want to do. And I noticed that I wasn't listening to that. Like early on in my art career, I was like, I don't know. Like I wasn't taking it in. I wasn't, using the ear horn and listening really well. I was in my mind, in my heart, I was like, yeah, they're just saying that. That's sort of the attitude. But I started to listen. I don't know what it was. I think my sister, it was my sister who said this. And I think that's the moment that I started to listen. She said, Heather, if I could, I would quit my job and I would move to Fort Collins and I would sell your work for you. Like, logistically, circumstances, that's not really reality for her. But she was trying to tell me in a matter of words that the work that I was doing was important and that it needed to be out there and it was beautiful and worthy of sharing with people. So start listening to your fans and start thinking about who are in your tribe and remember that they believe in you. And so maybe it's time for you to believe them. And then the third thing that I have to offer as just a tip for getting through a hard thing is just to remember it doesn't have to be all at once. That's the easiest thing to overwhelm, is that you think you have to do everything all at once. And so then you don't do anything, right? So to borrow from Frozen 2, do the next right thing and just do it one thing at a time and do it every day, one day at a time, right? The next right thing. So this is nothing new, I think, for you, but I do think that it's helpful to be reminded of things that work when you're trying to get through a hard time. I've been on here now for about 10 minutes, so I'm gonna sign off. Thank you to those of you who joined me today. I really appreciate your encouragement and love, and I will see you again tomorrow about the same time. And my topic tomorrow is to talk about language and what is creative. So come back and talk to me and ask me any questions and leave comments, and thank you so much. See you then. Bye.